I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
Everyone makes mistakes. Take me, Michael Corbin. I was just your average underachiever flunking out of high school. And the only way to graduate was by taking a class trip to Europe with a French club.
Michael Corbin, first class.
First class? How? Ow! There's been a mistake here, which led to a case of mistaken identity.
Walk quickly, they already know you're here.
Hey, what are you doing?
Eric Richardson, British intelligence.
That turned me into a secret agent. Well, just who do you think I am?
Michael Corbin, deep cover agent for the CIA.
Michael Corbin, French class reject. Suddenly, I'm filling someone else's shoes.
They'll adhere to any surface.
And driving the company car. Get out of town. I can drive this baby out of here right now.
Yes.
Piece of cake. If I can just figure out how to get the window down. Yeah, I flunked driver's ed, too. I'm not complaining. They're gorgeous women.
Bonsoir, Monsieur Corbin.
Boner. Yes, soir.
There can be no more mistakes. Kill him.
And dangerous men. Now, all I have to do is rescue a beautiful girl.
We're all gonna die!
No, Corbin's here.
That's what I mean!
Save Europe. Graduate high school.
Who are you with?
The French club. Hey, no problem.
Richard Grieco, if looks could kill.
Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review. This is a review for 10. Sorry it took a while to get to this. And if anyone ever wants to request pretty much any type of video or review, movie topic, whatever, pretty much any, you just send it directly to my PayPal, or you can join me on my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Now, the film he wanted me to talk about was If Looks Could Kill from 1991, which is nice because I've been wanting to watch this film again, and it was still a lot of fun. I still really enjoy this film. People are not going to think of it as a classic, and oh wow, they're supposed to be high school students, but they look so damn old, way too old to be that. And I get that. Of course, you could say that for almost every film in the 80s and 90s. Well, almost. The Tears on Monster Squad looked their age. Same with the Goonies. But mostly with high schooler, and they weren't high schoolers, so that moot point. Or moot. But with this, it was a fun, entertaining spy action film that what's funny is someone did a video where If Looks Could Kill and Spider-Man Far From Home are the same movie, and they showcase all the similarities between the two. It was actually kind of eye-opening, even though the director said he never even heard of this film. But the comparisons are pretty fun. Check out that video. If Looks Could Kill is the same as Spider-Man Far From Home. And you know what? I like this film more than Far From Home. I didn't hate that movie, but I like this film more. This is more my kind of film. I like Richard Grieco. I didn't even grow up with 21 Jump Street, but I did like... This is the first time I had seen Richard Grieco. I saw this not on VHS. It might have been on cable where I saw this. I'm like, wow, this seems pretty good, and the action scenes are pretty entertaining. It's a fun film. It's not meant to be taken seriously. It's goofy at times, meantfully so. That's not a word, meantfully, but still. It's meant to be that way. Richard Grieco is a guy who's failing. He's ready to graduate, but he's failing French class. He needs the credit. So one thing leads to another, and he gets on a class trip going to overseas, kind of like Peter Parker went overseas and Far From Home. And because of circumstances, mistaken identities, his name is Michael Corbin. Same as the spy. So of course the government thinks he's Michael Corbin, and things get mixed up. And that's where the fun begins. And I say fun because there were moments that made me chuckle. Like the French teacher's trying to talk to him on the plane, and this other guy who works for the government thinks that's one of his own men, like his ally. So he threatens the French teacher, like, you stay away from him, and like with a gun. I'm not explaining it right, but the way it played out, it made me laugh. Richard Grieco I like. I liked his performance. I liked his delivery of his lines. Again, I didn't even see much of 21 Jump Street, the TV show which he was on, and then he had his own show, Booker. I didn't see any of that stuff. This is really the only thing I've seen him in, and sad he didn't get more work, but this film did not do well at all. It was a big bomb, completely forgotten. It's not on Blu-ray. I think if you get the DVD, but it's like one of those archive made on demand, which sucks. Actually, I don't know if it's on Blu-ray. If it is, it'd be on one of those too, but for what I remember, it's only on DVD, again, made on demand. So it is a fairly forgotten film. When the action scenes happen, they're well done. There's one moment, I haven't seen too many, where him and this girl are running away from this helicopter. Really good crash on the roof, and then like the rotor flies out and it's chasing them as it going towards them. You get some great practical explosions. You have a scene where a bad guy shoots a bazooka, blows up the room, and Richard Grieco's in the bathroom and he flies back. And Richard Grieco, I thought, held it fairly well together, the project. I thought, again, he was a likable character. The mistaken identity stuff was fun. When he's like, hey, I'm not a spy, and then he stops because he sees all these cool gadgets that they're showing him. Like x-ray glasses, bubblegum explosives that you chew and you combine with a silver foil and it'll blow up. And then this really cool looking car, which is on the poster. It's like, wait a minute. I can leave here with this car and everything's fine. Well, yeah, and then he immediately leaves. And a lot of luck was usually, I have a problem with it, but this was one of the big points of the film. Even his dad early on says you can't depend on luck to bail you out every time. And it starts, like he accidentally puts the shield on the car, or... And even funny enough, a scene that you would kind of see in Far From Home that deals with a missile that goes, almost hits the school bus that his class is on. But in this case, and almost kills his class, which I think Peter Parker kind of did in Far From Home. But it looked cool, like the rocket goes under the bus and it blows up the bad guy's car. Linda Hunt, I've seen her a bunch of stuff. She was in Kindergarten Cop as the principal. I think she's most well known for the film The Year Living Dangerously. If you look up Linda Hunt, she was on, what's that TV show? I think it's with LL Cool J and Chris O'Donnell. NCIS? Or NCIS LA? I barely remember those shows. I haven't seen much of them. Just bits and pieces. But if you look up Linda Hunt, you say, oh, I recognize her. Maybe. And she plays an assassin, but she's also, I think she's the mother of the villain as well. So it was interesting, like this older woman being an assassin. That was a nice little different, off the beaten path notion. And this, I always do this in the movie, where you have these spy things, and they're playing cards and gambling. I'm like, well, they got all these toys. Why don't they just use X-ray vision? And he does, to win the fucking game. I'm like, finally, someone does what I would have. Put on the fucking X-ray vision. That way you could win. The gadgets are cool. He'll lift up when someone has a gun on him, and this knockout gas shoots out to fuck up some bad guys. This woman that tries to kill him, go to seduce him, and then going to kill him with the venom of the scorpion. He gets her rapidly to go to the bathroom because he's trying to get a condom. Unbeknownst to them, he unwittingly saved his own life, because by doing that, the scorpion bounced off, went into the bitchy lady's dress, and got her sorry ass. I like some of the lines of dialogue. I like, excuse me, you been checked for rabies? The guy like snarls at him. Or he's talking to the bad guy, man, you can sure run a line of shit, can't you? Which I've never heard a line I like that. Like, can sure run a line of shit, can he? And just, it went at a good pace. It was entertaining. You know, you had the gum bomb, blows a guy off his feet. These people, the class is being lowered to a vat of melted gold, and he freezes it, and then he fights a guy on top of this thing that's buckling, and some nice production value during that sequence. And he actually gets to do some stuff. He actually gets to shoot and punch and fight. And nowadays, A, they don't make this type of movie anymore. Well, A, they don't make movies right now. B, they don't make this type of movie anymore. And C, they would have the hero not do much because it would be the logic factor. Well, how could he fight? He wasn't in special forces. How could he fight? He wasn't in this. How could he fight? He wasn't in that. I'm like, motherfucker, maybe he's just a teen who, he could figure out how to shoot a gun. He could figure out how to fight. I get that sometimes, that part of your brain working overdrive. Other times, I just said, shut up, go with it. I want to have some fun. And so you get your hero shooting some bad guys, fighting some bad guys, not just being a pussy and getting beaten up 80% of the time. I appreciate that. I like that kind of stuff. And I thought the humor was fun when they save it. No time to explain. You are the French teacher. It gives her the gun. And even made the French teacher, which at the beginning I'm like, actually made her an interesting character at the end, where she takes the gun. She said, I understand now. And she makes like a headband, and then she's a tough badass now. He fights a guy with like a gold hand or something, or like a mechanical hand, and then when it punches through and he gets out of the way, he gets some melted gold on it, and the way he goes, shit. And then the idea, you fighting bad guys, some good stunt work, a chopper that lands, and like again the rotor like flies off and chases them. He has to stick on the walls, granted with shoes, but sticks on the walls like Spider-Man. Like, fuck, this is a better Spider-Man movie than Spider-Man Far From Home. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't really have much issues with this. I really enjoyed it. I mean, yeah. No, fuck yeah. I think some others will have problems because of qualities that would be in many 90s films. Oh, the kids look like they're too old to be in school, and it's not realistic. I would say music was fine, but it's not, for me, memorable songs and music. I mean, the music I thought was fine. I didn't mind it, but they're not, compared to other 90s, 80s films, stand out too much for me. Compared to, say, like the soundtrack to the, well, score wise it was fine, but I can't remember much about the score either. Just back in the day in the 80s and 90s, you had music, the scores of Total Recall, RoboCop, Rambo films, Die Hard, Lethal Weapon, and even songs, the Over the Top soundtrack and the Rocky IV soundtrack, and even, you know, I like that song, Best of the Best 2. I mean, the soundtrack works fine, but just, yeah, that's some of them huge fan. Other than that, I really don't have much issues with this. This is a fun, entertaining, underrated film. I would say this is an underrated pop, and that's what you view it. You view it as a popcorn film, not meant to be taken seriously. The movie itself is not taking itself seriously. You could tell from time to time, multiple times, that it's not. And a fun spy, the real Spy Kids, the actual good Spy Kids movie, with some impressive stunt work and action scenes. And Richard Grieco, I thought he pulled off fairly well. I would have liked to have seen him do more of this kind of movie, but that wasn't the case. It is what it is. So, and also, funny enough, it's directed by the guy who before this did Harry and the Hendersons, which I love. I love Harry and the Hendersons. So I thought it was impressive that that was more of a comedy. But here the action scenes were handled fairly well. I thought it was a pretty decent enough transition. But apparently I'm alone in that, because not many people have heard of this film or give a shit about this film, which is too bad. I believe the director's name is William Deere, I believe. Yeah, put this out on Blu-ray, fuck's sake. Did an interview with Richard Grieco and the director. But that ain't gonna happen. Thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.